Welcome to the show, folks. As always, you guys know the usual. Cases of COVID-19 here in Oasis County. Let's start. We're now, 33,000 cases, 608 deaths. Texas, 2.4, 32,858. Getting close to 33,000 here in Texas. What about California? California's probably high. Their cases is higher than smoking weed. So again, what can be done about this? As always, you need to start wearing masks every now and then so that you don't contract the virus. Social distancing is required. Not optional. It needs to not be optional. It needs to be mandated. Especially for those who are in a medical condition. You need to follow that social distancing protocol. I mean, look, I understand you don't want to follow that, but we all have to. I don't want to do it, but I need to, but I have to. I've been there, people want to say, yes, I understand like this, but I guess I understand that, but the thing ever that's happening here is that if you don't decide to follow the rules, there's consequences. I cannot have that on my conscience. And yet, I see these people all the time not following those rules. The social distancing rules, the mask rule. You are required by your county judge's order to wear masks. No ifs, ands, buts, or excuses unless you have a medical condition. And I've heard this from one of the Lyft drivers I've talked with. She said oh, my husband has a medical condition, but he still has to wear a mask. I'm sitting there like, there's an asthma problem. I mean, you should be able to ask experts if wearing a mask and if you have asthma, you should wear a mask. Because let me tell you something. If in fact that you have asthma, you should not be able to wear a mask because it's clogging up your breath. A lot. That's right. But the thing you need to understand here is that if you have a medical condition, just let them know beforehand and then they can understand. That's like going to the TSA, let them know that you have, and let them know beforehand that you have a medical condition, but you still follow those rules, you will be arrested for public disorder. And that can be a big problem at hand. But I don't even want to see or hear about it on the news. Because if it happens, who knows what will come next? Jail time? Banned from property, arrested for trespassing. That is the most serious issue ever, and I'm afraid if I were to, I will not see something like that. People being tased without wearing a mask, not complying with police orders. If I saw something like that, I would just say, what the hell are you doing? Pulling a taser out on someone when they're trying to wear a mask. Oh, jeez. More on COVID-19. There's more COVID-19 right now. There's even disposable masks on the floor. On the ground. Even if you were to look at images, it's all over. These people are just littering masks on the ground, not realizing there's a trash can not far from here. Masks are used to protect people. Yeah, you leave them on the ground for someone else to pick up. You wasted. That's $7 worth. That's $7. That's $7 worth of masks that you wasted. And remember this formula, you guys. Masks on the ground equals litter. When you leave a used mask on the ground, not only are you littering, but you also increase the chance that someone or something will come into contact with your germs. And there's even a New York Times article that explains this. Your used mask needs to make it to the trash can. They're on beaches, parking lots, sidewalks. You won't catch the virus from a discarded mask, but litter poses a risk to the environment. Yes, that makes me say, give me a break. We should not be leaving masks on the ground. The issue prompted environmental organizations, including the EPA, to sound the alarm. Some local governments in Suffolk County, New York, have issued fines for littering involving masks and gloves. Police departments like one in Massachusetts have warned that improperly discarding PPE is a crime. So my advice to you is, if you see a mask on the ground, do not walk away. Pick it up and throw it in the trash. If you're done using the mask, don't throw it on the ground. That's littering. The EPA could go to the police department for this. There's more disposable masks when we come back, especially this person. He created a challenge. We'll hear from him when we return. So, we're talking about disposable littering face masks on the ground. You see them in parking lots. You see them everywhere. On the sidewalks, on the ground, in beaches. And you do nothing about it but walk away. You're like, I don't want to get involved in this. And it turns out you need to get involved. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Somebody has to come up here and step up to the plate. But one environmentalist from Corpus Christi has a suggestion. What does he mean by that? Here's Bill Churchwell.
Take a drive through any shopping center parking lot across town and you are sure to find one, or two, or more. Those disposable masks meant to protect us during the pandemic are also ending up as an unpleasant sight littering the ground.
So I spent about 5 minutes walking around and I found 13 masks just in that 5-minute period.
Here's a picture of all those masks collected by local environmental advocate Jace Tunnell. He found them during a recent trip to the store.
And so that's really what got my wheels turning of thinking, man, there's got to be something else we can do.
Tunnell came up with an idea for a mask cleanup challenge for the community.
You know, we asked people to to wear gloves, not disposable gloves, but use like your garden gloves, something you can throw in the washer. Go to the parking lot, look around, go to the fence line, then tell us how many they find, when they were there, where they were at.
With that information, Tunnel plans to create a map of where those masks are found. That's because he says they don't necessarily stay in the parking lots, especially when it rains.
These are actually made of polypropylene, which floats. And so you can imagine when it rains, anything that floats, just like a styrofoam cup or a water bottle, something like that, it gets into the water. Then everything drains, to a lower level.
And from there, they can end up in our bays and estuaries and even along our beaches, which Tunnel says he has already witnessed. The problem with that...
The things with masks is they have these rubber band type things to go around your ear. And that gets tangled around, birds' legs or sea turtles' necks and flippers.
If you end up accepting the Mask Maniacs Challenge, well, it will take place the weekend of February 5th. There's a Facebook events page you can post your results to, and Tunnel asks that you take a picture of what you find as well.
Because what makes this more real is, people actually having pictures of themselves with masks, saying, look, this is a problem. This is a single-use plastic we need to get out of the environment.
Bill Churchwell, 3 News.
And our thanks to Bill Churchwell. And Jay says he plans to take this event elsewhere. So if you're in a Corpus Christi area and you see masks, tell them how many you saw, send a picture of it, and then you'll be entered in that event. So remember, mask equals littering. No littering. You could be arrested. What is the police going to do about it? Well, I haven't asked the Corpus Christi Police Department what they're going to do. But something needs to happen. I might end up doing these mask sweeps around. I can't have that on my conscience. No ifs, ands, buts about it. There's trash cans. There are trash cans all around here. And if it happens, if you decide to say, "Oh, I'm not going to pick up those masks. I don't want my germs." Well, yes, I understand you don't want your germs around, but gloves are really important here. Now, don't get disposable gloves, just get garden gloves. Those help out a lot. And if you're going to do it, have a friend. Have a friend help you out every now and then so that like it doesn't happen. If you're going to do it alone, like have someone help you do the challenge. So that we can pick up after ourselves and teach our children that they need to pick up after themselves. And that's the best way to teach children, to pick up after themselves. A pack of 50 masks can be purchased for about $30. I mean, there's cheaper masks that can be sold for $7. That's cheaper than $30. And then if you just leave a mask on the ground littering, that's $7 worth. That's $7 on the ground, $7 wet, $7 in the water, $7 on our bay. We need to do this. We need to do this mask sweep. And I challenge you, Give Me a Break viewers. I challenge you. If you see a mask in your area, email me a picture, or go on my website at jcarvin67.wixsite.com/givemeabreak. Send me your pictures by email at jcarvin67@gmail.com where you found it, and you will complete that challenge. We'll have more when we come back. I know this is not going away, but you're probably going to have to say, let's move on to another video. I have to focus in on truancy every now and then. The reason why that is to tell you and your parents out there that if your child does not go to school, this is what happens. Court, truancy court, fines, suspending licenses, juvenile hall. And this is in Memphis, Tennessee. And I have to tell you, education matters. No ifs, ands, or buts. Thousands of CSS students absent, but juvenile court is not seeing truancy rates. But virtual school resumed on Monday. This is from weeks ago. But thousands of students starting a new semester with multiple absences already on the record. Some students have dozens of many students absent. Juvenile court's truancy docket sits empty. But as of December 4th, which was as of last month, SCS reported about 20,000 students have 5 or more unexcused absence. That's about 1 in 5 students. Even more unvarying is that 1,200 racked up 30 or more unexcused absences. All of them are considered truant by state law. But Shelby County Schools closed a virtual learning model this year to stem the spread. And I tell you this, every state has a truancy law, and here's a graph. Till December 4th, this is going close up to 10,000 in 2021. Last year, 6,529. 2018, 7,000, this is from the data, 7045. 10,000 students and 10 more days of school on December 10th. And even most New York City schools aren't trying to track online attendance or do nothing at all. Really, they're sitting there being lazy. No, it's from your state law. Your truancy state law has not changed. Ever since COVID, your truancy state law has not changed. And this is from the New York Post. It says, with Band of Bazio keeping middle and high schools closed for now, most New York City students will learn from home, or at least they're supposed to be, with the Department of Education has been struggling with something rising levels of online truancy. According to Monday's DOE, attendance records show 134 schools had no contact with at least a quarter of their online learners. 69 schools simply provided no data on remote attendance. It's actually worse than that. Standards for attendance vary. Some schools will mark even a student who fails to attend class as a present if the kid merely responds to a text or email at some point in the day. It's worse than 11%. 121,000 kids make the DOE claims. What does the DOE mean? Meet the DOE claims. But what do those DOE claims mean? I mean, this is only for schools. But nearly a year in the pandemic, Chancellor Richard's team is still letting countless students fall through the cracks. Since the DOE planning has no idea what the real count is. Half the public schools are still all remote, and blended students are still online only at least half the time. Just makes you wonder how hard continuing CEO try in normal times, doesn't it? The bottom line, while future work teachers and administrators struggling to make this worse, they completely lost a year of schooling. The system as a whole has completely given up. Don't give up. Your truancy laws are still in effect. Those laws haven't changed. from your state governor. The state law, your state law in Texas, the state of Texas, from your Texas Education Agency, is requiring attendance. Attendance is mandatory, whether it's in person or online. If they're not in the class, they're considered truancy. The laws have not changed. Those determine whether you get your credit, your driver's license. That applies just like you were in school. And I'd rather not see this happen. This article was from days ago. Online truancy, it's happening. And I'm not letting this go until these people from every state decide to step up to the plate and say, look, I need to step up to the plate, go to school, and do what's asked of me. And I need to step up to the plate, go to school every day. But let's look at the state of Michigan. They lock up children for truancy, defiance, other non-criminal acts. In Michigan, judges have sent children to locked detention centers for refusing to take medication or failing to attend an online class, for testing positive for using marijuana, or for repeatedly disobeying the parents. Other states move toward reforms focused on keeping non-violent juvenile offenders in the community. Michigan continues to lock up children for minor transgressions. A dramatic example of this occurred last summer. A 15-year-old from Detroit raped a detention center for violating probation and other charges of theft and assault. I've seen all the truancy judges. They're in the same boat. Those laws have not changed. But the question is, are they well cared for? Are they safe? Well, that's what the Philadelphia Inquirer is asking. This was almost about a month ago. Let me tell you this, your truancy laws in every state have not changed since the pandemic. Those laws are still the same. Those laws are still in effect. And if you think I'm bluffing, I'm not bluffing. I'm not joking. Parents, you need to step up to the plate, talk to your children, and say, look, you need to show up for your remote classes, because if you don't, I'm going to get calls from the school, you're going to get a lot of absences, and I don't want to end up in court. Show up to school. Parents, if you have a child who's working, just tell them, look, just take a leave of absence, just wait. If you're going to get a job to help me pay the bills, just wait. There is time. You can help me if you want to help me pay the bills, you got to wait till after you get done with school. Until you graduate. That's that. Look, these are teenagers. They're working at fast food restaurants. They're trying to help mom and dad pay the bills, and these are cases of eviction. Parents, if you're on the judge's side, you may agree with the judge. But what you really need to understand here is that you can't be working while in school. Unless it's a school-based program. What I think should happen is there needs to be a law that would prohibit all teenagers from working while in school unless there's a school-based program. Because that causes truancy. And if it happens, managers have to just pay fines or end up going to jail. But wouldn't that violate the Constitution? I don't know. No one knows it all. I'll be back in a moment. Before I leave you, I want to give you another new segment here. Talking about safety break. Meaning I'm going to be going out into the community and give you guys some safety tips. One in particular that I might give you is crossing the street. Many people these days just cross in the middle of the street, not at the corner. And that's a big issue here. I'm going to teach you how to cross the street using that crosswalk. That's coming up in a few weeks. And I'll give you that. That's all for this edition of Give Me a Break Monday. We'll see you again with Give Me a Break Wednesday. Have a good night, everyone. Take care of yourself and each other.